Hello, welcome back to Core Finance. I'm Matt Brown. I'm joined by Nicole, Elliot, technical analyst and private investor. And we're going to have a look at the Swedish versus the euro. Interesting currency, maybe not on everybody's radar, but maybe it should be for 2018, and you're going to tell us why.
Well, yes, it is on my radar, as I say, because it's the winter solstice and I'm thinking all things Scandi. Yes, this is a monthly chart, and that peak on the left is the weakest ever that the Swedish krona got to, nearly 12 krona per euro. And then it sort of recovered fantastically, and then since 2013 it's been on a very gentle slide. It's not dramatic at all, but definitely I think you could say that this is a neat stairways type pattern where you've got treads and then you move on up again, and it's all quite tidy, which is to me more a sign of the start and the middle bit of a long-term trend rather than an ending. Endings usually end with the thing on the left.
Yes.
Yeah? Kind of parabolic, whatever.
Yes. And that was obviously in the financial crisis, so a lot was moving very erratically at that stage.
That's right. But anyway, nevertheless, Matt, since September, this currency too has lost ground against the euro. Only 6% as opposed to the Norwegian, which has lost 13%. But it's definitely lost ground. And it looks to me that we might just get a monthly close above that 50% retracement level. That's the solid upper blue line, which comes in at 9.96.
Just below
Swedish.
the 10 handle.
Exactly. Now this is key. This is the important bit, because Norway and Sweden's economies are very tightly linked. Although one is in the Eurozone and the other one isn't, the two very much so. They're constantly moving across the border to shop where things are cheaper and things like that.
Yes.
And you know, the working force happily skits between the two depending on what suits. In fact, a long time ago, the head of the Swedish Riksbank explained to me that when he was going to service his Volvo, he used to check out the competing car garages on either side of the border.
It's a very
to
Swedish
decide.
thing to do, yeah.
Exactly. Anyway, the point here is we're almost at the end of the month, the end of the year, the end of all sorts of ends of. Will we, won't we close at or close to that 10? And if we do, and I think we might well do, I think then momentum will certainly pick up. Now, the Riksbank has some of the lowest rates around. They're at minus 50 basis points versus the Euro's minus 40. So despite, because of this tiny 10 basis point differential, perhaps that might explain some of this year's Swedish weakness, but not really. The other thing we've had recently is that it's worth noting that one of the best performing asset classes in the developed world since 1980 has been Scandinavian property. Stockholm house prices are up fivefold since 1995.
Incredible.
That's going some.
Yeah.
And obviously with zero interest rates or negative interest rates, it's very easy to borrow to buy, as is the case in Denmark too. I'm not sort of singling out any one particular. But what we've had on December the 14th, SEB Bank, their house price indicator, just tipped into negative territory. This is the first time since 2012 that this has been the case, and it's nationwide. It's across the whole of Sweden. But what's leading are really top-end flats in the capital,
Yes.
where there is an oversupply at the moment. There's definitely an overhang. And coupled with exceedingly, eye-wateringly expensive prices, the Swedish attitude towards their house market has dropped, and they do not expect further increases in the coming year. On the contrary, there's the potential for some price drops. They haven't dropped massively yet, but in Stockholm they have already. And the outlook is for not so good either. So there we have a problem. Now, the mortgage market is very interesting there in that the mortgage-backed bonds all are AAA rated.
Yes.
I mean, the quality is there, but you can see that it won't take...
Are they packaging them up as well? I mean, we've been here before, haven't we?
Exactly. Now, if, as I say, with Norway being so tightly linked to Sweden, and if Sweden were to get the sort of jitters that we had in 2008, 2009, I mean, this could easily go up to 12 krona per euro, couldn't it? I mean, we've been there before, but we haven't been there in Norway. So that would really put things out of kilter. Do you see what I mean? In order to keep these two, they're not pegged at all, but they like to keep sort of within a certain percentage of each other. In order to do that, that must mean that the Norwegian krona will move to new record weakest ever levels against the euro. Yeah.
Well, let's hope we don't get a property crisis in Scandinavia in 2018. That could be an interesting headline. But in the meantime, Nicole, thank you very much for joining us.